Mark, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for popping by. Right, I know it's the first day of the Open Summit, but is there anything you've spotted so far that's different from last year, or things are moving quickly, but is there anything particular that you have that's caught your eye?
Oh, good question. I would say overall from the OCP, what's new this year is you have several bigger players making bigger announcements. It's almost a catalyst that's going on within the space of adoption. So you do see people taking it seriously. You do see from technical aspects, myself being the CTO at the HP Networking, I pay attention to where is the technology and how hardened is it. And you're starting to see players come to the table that have things that are deployable now. And so that's an interesting tipping point, if you will, in the business, and that you will start seeing many open solutions being deployed and being able to roll out for it.
And is it faster? I mean, I sat last night with two developers who developed a brand new chip, and it's off for patents this morning. I mean, they sat up all night. I mean, is that common? Is that a common speed of development?
Well, the speed of development, or I would call it the speed of solutions, is accelerating.
Right, yeah.
So you do have the components that traditionally take a little bit of time. There is the benefits today of the actual hierarchical coding language themselves, whether it's Go or Python and so forth, which make things much faster to be able to develop the components. But now you have these components that can actually work together autonomously and or together. So we can pull these together and make solutions. And it's creating these, what I call vertical workloads that allow you to be able to deploy much faster, and also in an agile way to change it to different solutions much faster than we've had in the past. So the vision of the agile time to market solution of the data center is really coming to reality, and this is the beginning. I actually think 2015 is a very interesting year that we may look back on to say this is really where you started seeing true adoption in this space.
And how are the big companies dealing with that? I'm not just singling you out, but I mean, aren't the bigger companies who are coming in at a disadvantage to the small startups? I mean, it's very noticeable that both yourself and Facebook this morning mentioned 5 or 6 brand new companies. Only take one example, Rex Computing, for example. They weren't mentioned, but that's a revolutionary new concept in development.
Actually, I would say yes. In general, that's a true statement that some of the larger companies are at a disadvantage. HP, on the other hand, has really been investing in this space for several years now. If you look at the contributions we've been giving in OpenStack to Neutron to ODL itself, and then work across all the disciplines of networking, storage, and server themselves, and we actually have a unique skill set that we're trying to bring to the table now as far as the solution offering and the services offering to stay with the pulse as we offer our own solutions in open networking itself. So we are definitely at the forefront of contribution. We're at the forefront of the solutions. So we actually feel we're positioned very well going forward in what you call the open networking.
And is there anything that was mentioned in the keynote this morning, your keynote, that you'd like to expand upon?
Well, Antonio Neri, who I report into, and Elon did a great job of introducing Cloudline, which is our version, which is our open server solutions. Alto Line, which is the networking side of that one as well, steps forward and shows our partnerships going forward and our contributions in this space. So that's really great. I really enjoyed Ubuntu and their approach to really trying to expand the deployments of OpenStack, and the approach they're taking towards deployment of applications is quite interesting too. And of course Facebook, that was quite interesting, a great contribution to the open market and OCP itself, and their solution may be very pinpointed to their type of workload and their type of solution, but also shows that the adoption is widespread. It's becoming more prevalent in the market.
So when we come back here in 2 or 3 years' time, what do you think the difference will be in the data center? Where is all this taking the data center?
So I think in the data center, you will have considerable disaggregation at the time, and to a point that you can remove and add not only hardware components, which is almost there today, but the more important OS that sits on top of the switches themselves and on top of the servers themselves. And these will be interesting to see where the workload or control points have adjusted towards. And I believe the agility of the data center will be very prevalent. You can add third-party applications and whole OSs. But what's more important is as the campus converges with its wireline and wireless, you're now seeing the data center playing a key role in the convergence of the data center and adding value to the campus itself. But also, it'll start solving the next problem of service chaining, which is really the next place that you'll see focus in the data center.
We'll talk about that next year.
Great.
Thank you very much for your time.